Thanks indeed for staying with us. It's just the 5th day in the second half of the year, in the month of July 2021. So much happening. We see events across the country, but centrally, as all of these events unfold, be they security, be they issue of secession, be the issue of economy and several others here, the political actors and gladiators and political, activists, if there's a word like that for this person, are very busy crisscrossing the country. They are already building alliances ahead of the 2023 general elections. They are going round. Promises are being made across board from major party, the APC and the PDP. Everyone are making promises, giving assurances that should anybody win, the person will actually take the country to the next level, while some believing they will do something different. But in all of this conversation here, the big point is where's the place for the Nigerian youth? Or where are the Nigerian youth? Sometimes some brings this chronicle. They take us back to history and open the chronicles and start to engage in a conversation that from time in memorial, when we had persons trying to rule the country, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, Obafemi Awolowo, several others there. They all governed when they were like in their 40s also. While the military guys who came in, maybe Agui Nrosi may be a little bit elderly here, but after Agui Nrosi, when we got to the period of the collapse, when Murtala Mohammed came in here, Yakubu Gowon, Olusegun Obasanjo, Muhammadu Buhari in military attire, Ibrahim Babangida and others, we are all in their 30s. Few, very few. Just hit the 40 lines there. And even President Yakubu Gowon had to marry then, while he was still occupying the presidential villa at Dodan Barracks. The question is, what is happening to the Nigerian youth? Are they really ready? Are they willing? When President Muhammadu Buhari assented to the Not Too Young to Run bill, it was one big band, big drumming. Everyone was just beating the drum here and believing that it's time for the youth to capture. Let me use the political and capture the political space. But that never really happened. The elderly are still doing their own thing, going around here and dominating governance from almost top to bottom. Well, the foot soldiers are the youth. The drummers are the youth. The singers and the enchanters and the chanters of song are all the youth. This morning, let's look at the issue of youth preparedness ahead of next 2 years general election. Are they ready, or are they just willing to, someone said, he came to somebody's office and he said, who are you? To tell Oga, I'm one of his thugs. Okay, I have with me a very, very sweet and vibrant brother, Sumaila, Program and Strategy, Coalition of Northern Youth. He's here with us, and on my immediate right is Mr. Chinedu Elekwachi. He's a political analyst, a journalist, and a pro-youth activist. You're welcome to our studios. I said something, and you all I laughed a little. Somebody says, tell Oga I want to see him, and the secretary says, who do I tell Oga? They tell him one of his thugs. One of his talks around. Now, let me start with you, Comrade Sumaila here. Now, what is wrong? What is really wrong with the Nigerian youth? Sometimes we do this Facebook upload. We pick a parliamentarian from US and say he's 29 years old. We all start to comment happily. We pick one from Liberia. He's 31 years old. We start to comment. But what's wrong with us?
Yeah, I think it's about the leadership, actually. You know, it's so this dummy to us that the youth don't amount to nothing, and unfortunately the youth also embrace that and they are running around with it. It's quite unfortunate. And of course, what I'm saying, this sold it to us is we have come to an era where you find youths, even at 35, 38, close to 40, still living with their parents, no job, no nothing. Do you understand? So what do you expect? They go to the same people who actually designed this program for them to be in that position, you know, for peanuts. And of course, you know, when someone is hungry and idle, what do you expect? So that's
but why, if they are selling it to you, and the question is, why do you buy it?
Yeah, but just like I mentioned, you know, the issue of poverty, I mean, hunger, it's number one key, actually. You know, quite a lot of people are so much in abject poverty that, I mean, they will have vibrant youth who are, they are graduating. Is like, in Nigerian institutions is like a factory, you know. Now even the National Youth Service Corps is in badges. I don't know how many badges they have now within a space of 1 year. You understand? You know, just rolling them out and just leaving them on the streets with no any other option. So what do you expect in that
Okay,
situation?
do you agree with him that the youths have been so reduced to a point that, as far as they are concerned, the events across the country over decades have allowed the youths to just remain in that sorry state?
Yes, I totally agree with you. I think the poverty line of the youth is what affected their growth, both in the political, socio-economic, and other stratas of lives. The young people are very much impoverished. As for you to participate in governance or politics, you must be almost the deep pocket. And even when they're saying they signed, they're not you up to run big.
So all of you were dancing.
No, they were just.
We are all happy.
It was a point that a hope is coming. It was a point that, but when you don't have the finance, how can you participate? I think the poverty has so much done bad on the side of the young people, and that's what's affecting the young people. Even as we're progressing to the general election, many young persons are willing to participate in the system, but they don't have the financial muscle. How do you want them to participate when they don't have the financial muscle? That's where the willingness comes in. The political clerks, the old gladiators have used that class to separate it so that to the extent that the young people will not have the opportunity to make a shot in the system. That's the baseline. That's the poverty line is the challenging factor.
Okay, let's look at this issue here. This perception, I don't know who created it, maybe the elderly or whatever, that when you want to contest, they tell you, you're a young man, what do you know?
Yeah, you see,
the same people who ruled Nigeria when they were in their 30s.
Yeah, exactly the point I'm about to make now is that there was a day, actually, I was 27 at that time, and I was talking to one of my mentor, you know, in person of late Maitama Sule, and you know, I didn't know when tears started rolling my face, because he told me how he became the first Minister of Petroleum.
What's his title in Kano?
Yeah, that must have
Kano.
Yeah. Good. How he became a minister of petroleum at the age of 27.
An ambassador to the United Nations.
You understand? So at 27, so I folded my arm and I was. I was that age. I was 27 as of the time he was telling me. You understand? So I just folded my hands and I was looking at him that you became, because when you even mention Minister of Youths, it could probably make some sense to me, but petroleum at 27, I couldn't just juxtapose, because I was just like, so you mean we can actually be in this kind of position at this age? And here we are in the system. You see, the same people who ruled when they were in their 20s, in their 30s, are still ruling in their 90s. You understand? Because that's where we're going. We continue recycling these same people. And you see, I'm not saying they don't have. I'm not saying they don't have what it takes but nature will definitely take its toll on you, whether you like it or not. When it's the retirement age, if you don't retire, nature will retire you. But unfortunately, they have retired. But we are saying no, please. That little strength on your walking stick, on your wheelchairs, we still want you to come back to come and govern us. That is what we're saying all the time. It's very unfortunate. You see, the world has moved from that phase, and you know, youth are taking over in virtually every facet. But here we are in Nigeria. We just want to, and you see, it's not just about the presidency. It just across the board. You see so many pictures trending sometimes back how majority of the senators, maybe 70 of them, will be sleeping right there. It's nature.
You know also that the political party youth leaders are almost 60.
You understand? It's the same thing we're saying.
The party is about
it's the same thing we're saying, because the system will make sure they lock you up when you are at that age that you're supposed to even be at the limelight. So you would be, nobody will hear of you, nobody will give you opportunity until you attain that age where they feel, oh, okay, now you are an elder. That's when you now start representing as a youth. It's very, very unfortunate that we find ourselves in this kind of situation. And you see, when I mean across board, you see people who have retired, they are jostling with their money to come back to take one position or the other. Who does that? People they've retired maybe 10 years ago. They are still bribing some people that, yeah, I heard there's an opening. I heard there's a vacancy there, that's parastatal, this, that, and all of that, where youth are with so much energy, are supposed to take over, you know, and start running the affairs of this nation. We have people who are close to their graves. They are still the one deciding the future of the leaders of tomorrow, who will eventually not be leaders until they attain that same age of retirement. It's very, very unfortunate.
Okay, now we're still looking at, we'll still be linking it to the general election that will be coming forward, as we're checking how the youths are. But let's still touch the things that really have formed the basis of the youth pillar and youth strength. Now, the National Youth Council of Nigeria appears to have been one body that have been perpetually in crisis. Factional leadership, controversial leadership at all times. Does that not affect how the youth see, how affect themselves in public life?
It affects, but you begin to imagine where did it come from? Where are those questions?
To blame the elders.
No. Where are those questions emanating from? If we construct and get very far, you see that some of these places are talking about the leaders that don't want the young persons to have a shot are the one responsible for this crisis in these youth groups. The LANS, the NYCN, the NYO, the YAN, all these youth pressure groups. Almost all of them have their own factional groups. And these people, they don't want them to be united because, you know, when the young people are united, they have a common front, and whatever they stand for, they can go and achieve it. So the crisis there is a very big challenge that's affecting the young people. And most times you see NYC, what are the agenda? What are they pushing for? They're not even interested in this clamoring that the young people should be allowed to have a space in the polity. They are interested in pursuing the political interests of their paymasters. And that's the challenge we have. I used to be a nurse comrade, and for some time I left the struggle because I know it was not yielding results. That was what I stood for. I left.
Why did you leave? You should have stayed there with the few comrades who believe.
In 2017, I ran for National District Chairman in Anambra State. And why was that not opportune? Because the comrades, the senior comrades who have left school years ago, they are still there as the stakeholders of the NAS. They were working with the government in the state, working with the management of the university. When they saw the interest I was pushing, they were like, this guy is not coming for our interest.
We can't trust him.
We can't trust him. We have to push him aside. And I'm returning my nomination. After that, I said, I'm not continuing with this thing. Because I know it's all for the interest of the people. So these are the challenges we have with the system. The so-called leaders in these pressure groups, they are not working for the interest of the young people. We have the NAS today, we have the NYCN. We can bring them about and target the activities. For the last 1 year, what have they done to push for the interest of young people in the polity, if not to galvanize the interest of their political paymasters?
Okay, let's take a commercial break very quickly now. When we return from the commercial break, we'll continue the conversation on looking at how youths are preparing for next general elections across the country after this break.
Dermatologically tested Bevan Baby Diapers makes babies happy with elastic side bands, breathable external layers, barrier to help prevent leakage, and makes families happy with its affordable price.
Thanks for staying with us. The program is still this morning on ITV. We have been discussing with our two noble guests, Ismaila Musa, Director of Programs and Strategy for the Northern Group and the Public Affairs Analyst, and we have Chinedum Lekwachi. He is a political analyst, and we are looking at youth preparedness for next 2 years general election. Now, Ismaila, yes. An old man once told us that the youths are not serious. That youth can be on social media mobilizing millions, either for NSAS, either for whatever across the world. when it comes to election, they don't use their social media the way they use it for other things.
Yeah, actually, to a large extent, I'll go with that.
That if they are so active the way we use app,
it's really unfortunate that Nigerian youth sometimes we embark on
African youth.
Yeah, but you see, well, I don't even want us to start going into all this Africa, because we should be a role model in Africa. You understand? Being the giant of Africa and all of that. It's just in the name. It's not reflecting anywhere else. We embarked on a program on drug abuse and stuff like that just in the recent past. And we found out that what our youth are actually dissipating their energies on, has nothing to do with their future. It's very, very unfortunate that in Nigeria today, majority of our youth, if they are not hooked on drugs, they are Yahoo. If they are not Yahoo, they are cultists. And so I came to an analysis, because I just tried to digress a little bit, that apart from this drug abuse thing, if we have these classes of youth who are supposedly the leaders of tomorrow, who already are hooked on one, vice or the other, how do we, so are these the same people, they're going to leave this country in their hands, in a short time from now, perhaps. And it's really beats my imagination to see how come. And I think it was sometimes back either here on the IT, I mentioned how, it was a shameful thing for them at CBN. The majority of them were given jobs. Of course, how CBN does their thing. It's very showy. It's the child of who are getting the jobs from the back door. But the CBN governor had to open a rehabilitation center for them in Lagos. Why? Once they get to the office, they put their head on the table, they're gone until close of work. Because they are on drugs before they get to the office. Once they get to the office, they just put their head on the desk. That's all. Until you tap them that the office is closing before they wake up. You understand? These are the same people whose their parents are going to force them on the rest of us in the nearest future to say,
Are they forcing them on us?
They are. There's no willingness to really serve anybody. These are the boys the kids who went abroad to school, get hooked on all manner of nonsense, come here, with all this attitude, no discipline of any sort. They later force them on us and say, you go and be House of Rep here. Before you know it, they are prepping him to become the governor of the state. These are all the things that's happening all over the place. You understand? So what do you expect? Are you expecting something better from this kind of people who don't give a damn about who dies and who lives? You understand? So, and that's the trend. The youth will rather be used as a political talk, and their children are good for those offices. So, and that is it. And you see, why it's really painful is because 99% of these leaders were sons of nobodies in their time, and
education,
everything free.
They even riot because they are giving a half chicken.
You understand?
Yeah. The guy, that they were giving them full chicken.
Yeah, and
they got half chicken, and they went on the street on rampage, destroy properties. And the question is, if this generation even see chicken wings, or even chicken, or even a drumstick,
you understand?
You will be happy.
Or even if you will be treated,
even just one
really. Don't even give them anything. Just to get
full chicken. A full chicken, and when they got half chicken, I was asking somebody, asking an elderly man, during your days when you rioted for full chicken, were you able to finish one chicken in a day? I don't know how I can finish a chicken. And the man says, I'm right to get a full chicken. Oh, we got half chicken, we have to be on the street. I said, now, if anybody now protests now for, you stop giving me egg, not even the chicken, these people will call you lazy generation. Now, let me come to you, Chinedu. I think in the student union struggle, we always refer to the comment by Frank Fanon that every generation must discover its mission, either to betray it or to fulfill it. The Nigerian youths, are they discovering who they are, or are they just defeated that they can't go anywhere?
I would say they are discovering themselves. I use myself an example. When I left students activism, 2018, I was appointed the state chairman of a political party in my state. Then I became the youngest in the country, even in my state. I worked with all the political leaders and stakeholders in the state. So participated in 2019 general election. I was the chairman of a party then in my state. I think it was discovery I gave to myself and some projects I embarked on in the state that brought me to the line that I was recognized to be appointed as chairman of the party. And before I left as a chairman of a political party in my state, I believe other people had the opportunity to come into the system in the state. In the country today, if you go across the country, see young persons occupying prominent positions in government. I think it's a pointer that the young people are
they just young person or somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody?
Before somebody can recommend you for anything, you must be prepared, and they will see that they see a kind of talent in you. You cannot pick somebody sleeping in his house for an up position. So you must show the kind of strength they can vouch for you. That was why that must be recommended. So the young persons are discovering themselves. If you see what's happening around the world, even the social media, you see that they are prepared. I want to say the young people are prepared. The system will not allow them to tap as they want to operate. So the young people have discovered themselves as they want to go. I believe going forward, we are going to see some kind of changes in the system. As we continue to say this, you see, young people have always grown through leadership. Whereas we have not always had big opportunities for the people in the system. But young people have always grown through leadership. You see the Meji Bankole them, the Chibika Mechi them. Chibika Mechi today is just 56. He grew from young age.
He's early 40s.
Early 40s. See, the young people have always, if you go to National Assembly, the House of Reps, there are plenty of them under 40. So we have always grown on through leadership. And I believe that going forward, the awareness has become much. We will continue to grow.
Okay, Mr. now, we're looking at participation in election.
Yes.
Young people, somebody say young people always cry that they want power. But they should go and read the law of power. Power is not given. It's taken.
Yeah, it's taken. That is
how will you advise the youth of that?
That's absolutely right.
I think you expect us to give you power. We will give you power. You go and take power. Nobody will give you power.
Yeah, I think going forward on that is that it's a clarion call I'm making on Nigerian youth now to know that it is time for them to take over. You see, the energy you're dissipating in all this protest, channel it to the polling units. You have all the power to make a change. Those changes you are clamoring for, because I realize all this protest has become a way of, just to make sure you cause some kind of chaos. For some, especially for some people who want to vandalize or steal and all of that, they now channel their energy into all those protests. You have an opportunity. 2023 is just around the corner. Channel those energies, but most importantly, look for ways that you can confront the people you are bringing into power. And when I say that, I'm talking about the youths. So many of them are coming out, but of course, so many of them will always be relegated at the primary election. You understand? They will be dumped. Whether they win the primaries or not, they did not win. You understand? But there's a way to go about it, that all this energy you are using on social media, some people, they can analyze everything, the problem and the solution of Nigeria on social media. They will not leave their beds. They will be lying down on the bed and just be tweeting and be typing, and you understand, they have all the time for that, but they don't have the time to take action on that. And going forward, we have a lot of people. I can tell you, it inspires me when I see young people coming out. And recently we saw, I think one of the youngest governor now, the governor of Kogi State. That's the way to go.
Makes mistake, they blame it on his youthfulness. Have you heard that before? Whenever a Kogi State governor makes a mistake, they say youth.
Well,
I know somebody said,
are the elders not making blunders?
I don't see what this governor did. He made a mistake.
Yeah.
They say youth, you see why we're not giving it to
you. Are the elders not making worse mistakes? They are. They are making worse mistakes. So, but the way to go, it is, if you have the opportunity to become the president, why not? What we are saying is, let the youth take over. We want to take Nigeria back. And the idea is, these same people who are ruling today, who are passing the baton from one of them to the other, is that they have ruled us when they were their age. And they did it well at that time. And I think it was that their CV of that time that is now speaking for them. Unfortunately, we are failing to realize that nature is taking its toll on them. They are tired. And when we are tired, we retire. That's what it simply means. So let's give people opportunity. Let's give young people opportunity to take, Nigerians are one of the most brilliant people in the world. Nigerian youth outside the shores of this country are doing great. Go to any country where they are. of course, some of them, some few youths are actually, spoiling our names overseas. But Nigerian youths are doing excellently well. There's a brain drain in the country. Bring these people back. We need more young people to participate actively in governance. Let's try it this time around and say, oh, okay, if the youths now fail, you cannot say, okay, now we realize, so which other formula can we use? But we have not been given opportunity. And even the one we mentioned about so many young people, I can tell you for a fact, out of 100, you can hardly see 2 who were sons of nobodies who came to power. It's either there's a godfather who said, okay, you are answerable to me, or they are children of some people who have made some impact. And that's just the point. So we have, of course, we have young people who are aspiring, but when it gets to issue of godfatherism, there's always a stop to say, oh, no. Who is his father? You can't go beyond. You can be a councillor.
I want you to speak on this before Comrade will also add.
Okay.
In a state where ethnicity and tribalism holds sway, like Nigeria, do you think the youth can speak with a single voice?
They cannot speak with a single voice, and that is one of the things we need to really work on. There is this division that has been created by the same people, and I say the same people because you see, these are the people who are leading. These are opinion movers. These are people who matters, who their utterances is very important. What they are telling their followers is very key. You understand? Because you see that division is actually coming from the top, and they are not actually, in the real sense, they are not really divided at the top, but they realize that the only way to keep governing or to keep ruling is to divide and rule. And they sold that to us, and our youth unfortunately embrace that. There's so much hatred. If you tweet or if you post something on your Facebook page to say, I just entered Katsina for the first time and see how beautiful lights, the comments you will see under that, you will think that you have just insulted somebody from another part of the country. You say, cow. Which light did you see? Cow. You are a cow. You are an animal. You are this. It has no relevance, no correlation with what you just say, I just entered this city for the first time, and you understand? So you begin to wonder, where are all this hatred coming from? Is it the same people who are so divided on social media that want to come to the same table to discuss how this country is going to move forward? So sometimes it actually beats imagination that, look, one of the major problems that we have as Nigerian youth is that, division. People are so divided. You call for this meeting on how to move this country forward. We are participating, and at the point I say, look, come, I don't want to involve myself in all these talk shows anymore. You just gather people in a hall in the name of United Nigeria. The next week, an event will, something will happen, an occurrence or whatever it is, the same group who you sat together, issue the communique together, will come out and issue another statement in total negation with the resolution to remain united. So you're wondering who are actually behind the scene, who are actually instigating all these things. And it's unfortunate because if you are already 18, because that is adulthood where it starts from, how can you allow some people who have actually used their own time, are now using your own time, now using extra time, still within your space, to now be dictating who to hate and who not to hate? It's really.
But can you come arise up from the dust and the ashes of our tribal and ethnic and religious divide? Can we rise up?
With the picture of the country, we already divided across tribe, religion.
Well, we have been so from so I grew up hearing us being so divided,
and it has become so worsened in this period in our history. So we don't need to be united. I think what we need to have a common front, a common vision that you want to make a shot. Okay. If a Yoruba man, as a young person, is interested in becoming the president of the country, the youth across the globe should focus on that aspiration.
We saw that in Abdurrashid Mena, when all the youth did not know about tribe or anything. Everyone just supported his nomination. Yeah. And I was shocked for the first time. I thought somebody would say, hey, we don't want this man from that part of the country. But every youth just went low, and the senators, everybody were all on the same page.
So I think that's the step we should take.
Okay, now let's look at participating in the election. How would they pick the party forms and pick the party forms, pay for the forms, and pay for the forms for election?
There are changes.
Because the forms are expensive. How would the youth pick? Where would they get?
I think there are going to be a new paradigm in 2023.
Are you sure the paradigm will not be formed for 15 million, 20 million?
No, I suspect so, because the APC recently had their National Youth Summit, and that summit, one of the proposal of the young people to the party is that they should reduce fees for nomination for the young people. And the PDP already proposed that we are going to give waiver to youth below 35. I think, let's believe this happens. If it works out, you should just start getting ready. Other smaller political parties can give you nomination free. So if the bigger parties, the APC and the PDP, can give waiver for the young people, where you will not pay for nomination, you only pay for expression of interest, that means you can participate. I think they should start building blocks in these two political parties. Start developing support. That when it comes to primaries, we have delegates that can stand for you and support you for the election.
Before I go, let me ask our comrade Asmaila here. Are you sure that the youths can galvanize funds? Because someone said to gather 4 persons in my village or 5 persons in my village, you must put drinks down, you must put cola. The days of cabin biscuit is gone. You must bring something that they will largely. You should shake body.
Yeah, well, I believe the youths can do that if they want to. It's about, determination. When you tax each other, the way campaign funds are being raised in other climes is different from the way it's been raised there. It's only here in this part of the world or in Africa that one single-handedly is actually bankrolling a whole campaign or presidential governorship or something. You understand? In fact, in some states you find out that from the governor to the House of Reps to the senators, one single person is actually bankrolling more than 80% of their campaign funds. You understand? So, but of course, elections or campaigns in Nigeria, most especially, is very expensive. On election day alone, for a presidential election, you will spend nothing less than 240 million. Or just on election day, I'm not even talking about the money you give to people, just between your agents. 240 million.
Presidential, it's not a billion.
No, I'm saying on election day alone. That's the minimum.
What nights do you use?
We are talking about the money they give. I'm saying just your agents to man the polling units, the number of polling units we have across the country alone. That's
you're not counting for buying.
No, I'm not counting. No, that's out of it. I'm just saying it just based on the number of polling units.
Billions are going to.
You understand? Just even I need an agent in my this polling unit, minimum of 240 million.
Don't give somebody will pay him.
You understand? Somebody will pay him. So that's the point.
Okay, thank you very much, wonderful comrades. Thank you very much for joining me on the show. Thank you very much. We pray that the youths understand the dynamics of political governance here. My father has been Sumaila Musa, the Director of Program Strategy at Coalition of Northern Youth. He is a public affairs analyst. And Comrade Chinedum Elekwachi have also been around with us. Thank you very much, comrade. Thanks for coming. We pray that the youths agree to change the dynamics.
Yeah.
If they don't,
that's our
the elderly ones will sit down and
continue
govern from the market square, according to somebody. Thank you very much. We'll take a break very quickly now. When we return from the break, we'll be looking at dwindling revenue and the clamor, the push for everyone to wake up, the state, the local, and the federal government towards improving international revenue after this break.